Hello, friends. Today I'll be giving you the top 10 best NFL running backs of all time. Let's get straight to the list. At number 10, O.J. Simpson. O.J. played college football for the USC Trojans, and he was drafted first by the Buffalo Bills in 1969. O.J. went on to lead the league in rushing 4 times and rushing touchdowns 2 times. He was voted to Pro Bowl 5 times and first team All-Pro 5 times. He was also a one-time NFL MVP. O.J. finished his career with a total of 11,236 rushing yards and 61 career touchdowns. At number 9, Tony Dorsett. Tony attended the University of Pittsburgh and became the first freshman in 29 years to be named All-American. He was drafted in the first round by the Dallas Cowboys in 1977. Tony was voted to Pro Bowl 4 times and first team All-Pro once, and he's tied for the NFL record for the longest run from scrimmage for 99 yards. He's also a one-time Super Bowl champion. Tony ended his career with a total of 12,739 rushing yards and is the 10th overall rushing leader of all time. He has 77 career rushing touchdowns and 13 receiving touchdowns. At number 8, Marshall Faulk. Marshall played college football for the San Diego State Aztecs, with whom he was a 2-time All-American. He was drafted in the first round by the Indianapolis Colts in 1994. He was voted to Pro Bowl 7 times and first team All-Pro 3 times. Marshall's a one-time Super Bowl champion and a one-time NFL MVP. He finished his career with a total of 12,280 rushing yards, 100 career touchdowns, 767 career receptions, and 36 receiving touchdowns. Faulk holds the record for the most consecutive seasons with at least 2,000 yards from scrimmage. At number 7, Adrian Peterson. Adrian played college football for the Oklahoma Sooners, setting the freshman rushing record with a 1,925-yard season in 2004. He was also named All-American that year. In 2007, he was drafted in the first round by the Minnesota Vikings. His rookie year, he set an NFL record for the most rushing yards in a single game with 296 yards that game. He was also named NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. He has 3 NFL rushing titles and an NFL MVP award. He's also a 7-time All-Pro selection and a 7-time Pro Bowler. Adrian has a total of 14,918 rushing yards and is the 5th all-time rushing leader. He also has 120 rushing touchdowns and 26 receiving touchdowns. At number 6, Eric Dickerson. Eric attended the College of Southern Methodist University. He holds 13 school records for SMU, like all-time leading rusher, single-season rushing yards, career rushing touchdowns, and many more. He was drafted in the first round by the Los Angeles Rams in 1983. Eric was voted to Pro Bowl 6 times and first team All-Pro 5 times. He also led the league in rushing 4 times and holds the NFL record for the most rushing yards in a single season with a 2,105-yard season. Eric Dickerson finished his career with a total of 13,259 rushing yards and is the 9th all-time rushing leader with a total of 90 career rushing touchdowns. At number 5, LaDainian Tomlinson. LT attended Texas Christian University. He became the second college player in history to rush for 2,000 yards in a single season and 5,000 in a career. A year earlier, he set the NCAA single-game rushing record with 406 yards. LaDainian was drafted in the first round by the San Diego Chargers in 2001, and he was voted Pro Bowl 5 times and first team All-Pro 3 times. He led the league in rushing twice, and he also led the league in rushing touchdowns 3 times. He was voted MVP once, and he holds the NFL record for the most touchdowns in a season with 28 touchdowns. LT finished his career with a total of 13,684 rushing yards and is the 7th all-time rushing leader. He has a total of 145 rushing touchdowns and 17 receiving touchdowns. At number 4, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt played college football for the University of Florida. In those 3 years, he set 58 school records and rushed for 3,928 yards with 36 touchdowns. At the 1990 NFL Draft, the Cowboys selected Smith in the first round. He was voted to Pro Bowl 8 times and first team All-Pro 4 times. Emmitt is a 3-time Super Bowl champion and a 1-time Super Bowl MVP. He also led the league in rushing yards 4 times and rushing touchdowns 4 times. Smith finished his career with an amazing total of 18,355 rushing yards, which makes him the all-time leading rusher in NFL history. He also had a total of 164 rushing touchdowns and 11 receiving touchdowns. At number 3, Walter Payton. Walter attended Jackson State University and was a two-time FCS All-American. Sweetness was drafted in the first round by the Chicago Bears in 1975. He was voted to Pro Bowl 9 times and first team All-Pro 7 times. He was a 3-time league MVP and a Super Bowl champion. Walter finished his career with a total of 16,726 rushing yards and is the second all-time rushing leader. He also had 110 career rushing touchdowns and 15 receiving touchdowns. At number 2, Jim Brown. Jim attended Syracuse University. In his senior year, he was a unanimous All-American. That season, he also set the SU record for highest rushing average, most rushing touchdowns in a game with 6 touchdowns, and most points scored in a game with 43 points. Brown was drafted in the first round by the Cleveland Browns in 1957. He was voted to Pro Bowl 9 times, and he was first team All-Pro 8 times. Jim led the league in rushing yards 8 times and led the league in rushing touchdowns 5 times. He's a 3-time NFL MVP and a 1-time NFL champion. He had a total of 12,312 career rushing yards with 106 career rushing touchdowns and 20 receiving touchdowns. Brown retired at the age of 29. And at number 1, the greatest NFL running back of all time, Barry Sanders. Barry played college football for Oklahoma State University. In his junior year, he had what many people consider the greatest individual season by a running back in college history, rushing for 2,628 yards and 37 touchdowns in 11 games. Sanders set 34 NCAA Division I FBS records. In 1989, he was drafted in the first round by the Detroit Lions. Barry Sanders is the only running back on the list. The second he was handed the ball, he already had 2 to 3 defenders in the backfield. He had the juke. He led the league in rushing 4 times and rushing touchdowns once. Barry was awarded Offensive Player of the Year twice and NFL MVP once, and he was a first team All-Pro 6 times. Barry only played 10 seasons and was voted to Pro Bowl all 10 seasons. He set the record for rushing more than 1,000 yards in 10 straight seasons, for rushing 1,500 yards or more in 5 different seasons, and for rushing more than 100 yards in 14 consecutive games. He ended his career with a total of 15,269 rushing yards, and he's the 4th all-time rushing leader, with 99 career rushing touchdowns and 10 career receiving touchdowns. And there you have it, the top 10 best NFL running backs of all time. So, do you think I got the list correct, or do you think it's out of order? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video and want to see more like it, please like and subscribe. As always, it's your favorite neighborhood movie critic. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.